Let's be real. One of the toughest things men deal with in the dating world is trying to figure out if a woman actually likes them. Most women won't just walk up and say, "I like you." Instead, they'll throw signals, some obvious, some subtle, and some so well hidden you'd miss them if you weren't paying attention. And here's the kicker. Sometimes a woman likes you, but doesn't want it to be seen too easily. She may hide it because she doesn't want to seem desperate. She wants you to chase, or she's testing if you'll pick up on her cues. This is where most men get stuck. They overthink, doubt themselves, or completely miss the signs. Maybe you've been in that position before, wondering, does she like me, or am I just imagining it? That uncertainty can make you either freeze up and do nothing, or go too hard and ruin your chances. That's why this breakdown is important. I'm going to show you the real, practical signs a woman likes you, but is trying not to show it. These aren't the generic, "she laughs at your jokes" type of tips you've heard 1,000 times. These are behaviors and patterns you can spot if you pay attention, the type that give you the edge in reading between the lines. Once you know these signs, you'll stop wasting energy chasing women who don't feel the same. More importantly, you'll finally recognize when a woman is into you but is just holding back. And trust me, that clarity changes everything, so sit tight. We're diving into the unspoken signals, the hidden clues, and the little details women reveal when they're interested, but don't want to be too obvious about it.
1. Her eyes tell the truth. If you want to know what a woman truly feels, don't start with her words, start with her eyes. A woman can control her voice, her body language, even the things she says outright. But her eyes? That's where the truth slips out. Here's the first thing. When a woman likes you but is trying not to show it, her eyes will find you even when she's trying to look away. She may glance at you across the room, quickly break eye contact, and then pretend she wasn't looking. That quick glance followed by avoidance isn't because she's not interested. It's because she is, but doesn't want you to catch her staring. Another sign is how long she holds eye contact. If she likes you, she might hold it just a second longer than normal, almost as if she wants you to feel the connection before she snaps out of it. On the flip side, she may avoid eye contact completely when you're speaking, especially if she's shy or nervous around you. Men often mistake this for disinterest, but in reality, it's her way of hiding how much you affect her. Watch for the little things. Does she widen her eyes slightly when she sees you, as if surprised or excited? Do her pupils seem to dilate when you're talking to her? These are unconscious reactions that can't be faked. Even if she's trying hard to play it cool, her biology will betray her. Here's another subtle clue. When you're in a group and someone else is talking, notice if her eyes shift toward you just to see your reaction. Women do this without realizing it. It's a way of checking if you're engaged, if you're laughing, if you're comfortable. It shows you're the one she's most aware of in that moment. And finally, pay attention to the double take. You've seen it before. You walk past her, and she looks once. You keep moving, and a second later, she looks again. That's not coincidence. That's genuine interest slipping through the cracks of her control. The eyes don't lie, man. Even when a woman wants to hide her feelings, her gaze gives her away. If you learn to pick up on these signals, you'll have a clearer picture of where you stand with her, without her ever having to say a word. 2. Her body faces you. When a woman likes you but doesn't want to make it obvious, her body will often betray her. Words can be calculated, smiles can be controlled, but the body has a way of showing the truth. And one of the strongest indicators of interest is the way she positions herself around you. Here's the key. If she likes you, her body will often face you, even when her mind is telling her to act casual. Think about it. When you're drawn to someone, your natural instinct is to orient yourself toward them. You lean in, you turn your shoulders, you point your feet in their direction. Women do the exact same thing, even if they're trying to hide their interest. You might notice she's in a group conversation, but her torso is angled toward you rather than the others, or maybe her feet are pointed your way while she's pretending to talk to someone else. These are subconscious signals. She may not even realize she's doing it, but her body is telling you where her attention really is. Leaning is another giveaway. If you're talking to her and she leans in just slightly, even though she could hear you perfectly fine, she's showing she wants to be closer. It's not always about what she says. It's about how her body reacts when you're near. Pay attention to mirroring, too. If you cross your arms and a few seconds later she does the same, or if you take a sip of your drink and she mirrors the action, it's her way of syncing with you. Women who are interested subconsciously copy your movements as a way of building connection. Now, here's where it gets interesting. If she likes you but is trying to play it cool, she may catch herself leaning in too much and pull back quickly. She might reposition herself to look like she's not too invested, but the fact that she adjusted in the first place is a sign in itself. That little tug of war between leaning forward and pulling back shows there's something going on internally. Also, notice if she closes the gap between you. Maybe she doesn't sit directly next to you, but somehow ends up closer during the conversation. Maybe she steps into your space just slightly while laughing or explaining something. A woman who's not interested will usually keep her personal bubble firm. A woman who is interested, even if she's trying to hide it, will break that bubble more often than not. Bottom line, if her body consistently faces you, if her feet, torso, or lean are directed your way, it's not random. Her actions are showing you something she may not be ready to say out loud. 3. She finds excuses to engage. When a woman likes you but doesn't want it to be obvious, she'll often find little excuses to interact with you. On the surface, it might look casual, but if you pay attention, you'll see a pattern that reveals her interest. Think about it. A woman who has no interest won't go out of her way to start conversations or make small talk. She'll keep things short, polite, and move on. But a woman who secretly likes you will find reasons, any reason at all, to engage. It could be asking you a simple question she could have figured out herself, like, "Do you know what time this starts?" Or, "Where's the nearest coffee shop around here?" She's not asking because she really needs the answer. She's asking because it's her way of breaking the ice. Another common move is light teasing. She may joke about something you're wearing, playfully challenge something you said, or find a way to make you laugh. Teasing is her way of creating a back-and-forth vibe without openly admitting her attraction. It gives her cover. If you respond well, she can keep it going. If you don't, she can brush it off as just joking around. Look out for repeated interactions. Maybe she keeps showing up near you during group settings, or she makes little comments when she passes by. These may feel small, but they add up. Women don't invest energy in engaging with men they don't like, even in little doses. Social media is another subtle giveaway. She might like your posts more than other people's, reply to your stories with casual comments, or tag you in something funny. She'll play it off like it's casual, but it's really her way of keeping the line of communication open without being too direct. Also notice when she brings up random details just to keep the conversation alive. For example, you answer her question, but instead of ending it there, she throws in, "Oh, that reminds me of something that happened last week." She's not ready for the conversation to end, so she's keeping the spark alive in small ways. The real giveaway, though, is her consistency. If she keeps finding reasons to interact, even if they're disguised as casual or coincidental, it's not an accident. A woman trying not to show her feelings won't come out and say, "I like you," but her effort to engage, even in subtle ways, speaks volumes. So here's your takeaway. Stop overthinking her words and start looking at her effort. If she's finding excuses to connect with you, even under the radar, that's a strong sign she's into you but doesn't want to put it all out there just yet. 4. Her nervous energy shows. One of the clearest giveaways that a woman likes you but is trying not to show it is her nervous energy. Attraction often creates tension, and even the most confident women can slip up when their emotions get involved. If you've ever wondered why she acts a little differently around you compared to others, it's probably because she's holding back feelings. Start with her fidgeting. Does she play with her hair more when you're talking? Maybe she twists a ring on her finger, taps her nails, or adjusts her clothes when you walk into the room. These aren't random actions. They're physical outlets for the nervous excitement she feels in your presence. She doesn't want you to see that she's affected by you, but her body gives her away. Blushing is another big sign. A woman may be perfectly composed around everyone else, but the moment you compliment her, or even just look her way, her cheeks turn pink. That's biology, not coincidence. And if she notices herself blushing, she might try to cover it up with humor, sarcasm, or by looking away quickly. Notice her voice too. If she suddenly talks faster around you, or her pitch changes slightly, that's nervous energy leaking out. Sometimes she might stumble on her words or laugh at herself for messing up. A woman who's completely uninterested won't feel that nervous pressure to impress you. Awkward silences can be a sign as well. Maybe she usually knows what to say, but with you, she occasionally goes blank, then fills the silence with a random comment just to keep things moving. That's not disinterest. That's her trying to manage the excitement and tension of being around you. Another giveaway is overcompensating. Sometimes, when a woman is nervous, she'll act the opposite of how she feels. She might tease you a little harder, act playful, or even seem extra confident. But underneath, it's her way of covering up the fact that she's anxious because she likes you. Pay close attention in group settings. If she laughs a little louder at your jokes, checks how you react before she adds something, or seems to stumble only when you're nearby, you're seeing nervous attraction at work. Around others, she's fine. Around you, her energy shifts. That's not random, it's personal. Here's the truth. Nervousness is often attraction in disguise. A woman who doesn't care won't get flustered by your presence. But when she likes you and is trying not to show it, her nerves will betray her. Through fidgeting, blushing, awkward pauses, or overcompensating behavior. All you need to do is pay attention to these subtle differences. 5. She remembers the small things. One of the strongest hidden signs a woman likes you is how well she remembers the little details you share with her. When a woman is not interested, your words go in one ear and out the other. But when she secretly likes you, even while trying to hide it, she'll hold on to pieces of information about you that most people wouldn't bother remembering. For example, you might casually mention your favorite snack, a TV show you're watching, or that you've got a busy week ahead. Later, she'll bring it up. Hey, did you ever finish that show? Or, you said you had a rough week coming up. How did it go? That's not small talk. That's her paying attention to you on a deeper level. She might even surprise you with things you barely recall saying. Maybe you mentioned you like a certain sports team months ago, and suddenly she brings it up in conversation. Or she remembers the exact day you had an appointment and asks how it went. Those are signs she's invested. She's storing those details because you matter to her. Pay attention to how she uses those details too. Sometimes she'll reference them as a way to reconnect the conversation. If she's looking for excuses to talk, remembering your little quirks gives her an easy way back in without making it too obvious. For instance, she might say, "Did you ever end up buying that thing you said you wanted?" That's her way of keeping the flow going and showing she's been tuned in. This goes beyond memory. It's about emotional investment. People don't put mental energy into things they don't care about. If she's cataloging details about your life, it means she sees you as more than just another person she interacts with. Another layer is when she adjusts her behavior based on those details. Maybe you said you prefer a certain drink, and next time she orders it too. Or you mentioned you don't like a certain type of music and she just so happens to skip it when you're around. These little adjustments aren't accidents. They're her way of aligning with you without making it obvious. The key here is consistency. One memory could be coincidence, but when she keeps bringing up things you've said, especially when others wouldn't even remember, it's a clear sign she's paying attention for a reason. So here's the bottom line. A woman who likes you but is trying not to show it will express her feelings through attentiveness. She may not say, "I care about you," but the way she remembers, references, and even acts on the little details of your life is her silent way of telling you exactly how she feels. 6. She gets protective of you. Here's a sign that most men overlook. When a woman secretly likes you, she often becomes protective of you in subtle ways. She won't come right out and say, "I have feelings for you," but her actions will show she cares about your well-being more than she admits. Start with how she reacts when others treat you. If someone teases you too hard or makes a comment at your expense, watch her body language. Does she defend you quickly, change the subject, or give that person a sharp look? That's her protective instinct kicking in. She doesn't want to see you disrespected because in her mind, you matter. She might also look out for your comfort. For example, if you're in a crowded room, she might ask, "Are you okay here?" or subtly try to make space for you. If you're tired, she might suggest you take a break. These little gestures may seem small, but they're her way of taking care of you without openly revealing how much she likes you. Another big clue is when she worries about your choices. If you casually mention you're skipping meals, staying up too late, or doing something risky, she might scold you in a light-hearted way or remind you to take care of yourself. That concern isn't random. It's her investment in your well-being showing through. Pay attention to jealousy too. If she hears another woman's name come up in conversation, she may suddenly change her tone, get quieter, or jokingly make a comment. She might not admit she's jealous, but her protectiveness over your attention will sneak out. Sometimes, her protectiveness comes through in encouragement. She'll hype you up before something important, remind you of your strengths when you doubt yourself, or reassure you when you're frustrated. She's acting like your cheerleader without labeling it as such. Why? Because she wants you to win, and she wants to feel like she contributed to that victory. Here's where it gets interesting. Women who are trying not to show their feelings will often disguise this protectiveness as friendship. They'll tell themselves they're just being supportive, but the intensity of their care goes beyond what casual friends typically show. You'll notice she's more tuned into your struggles, more quick to defend you, and more invested in your success than others around you. At the end of the day, a woman who doesn't care about you won't put this much energy into making sure you're okay. But when she secretly likes you, her protective side will leak out in small but powerful ways, through defending you, worrying about you, encouraging you, or even quietly competing for your attention. So if you catch her going out of her way to look after you in ways she doesn't do for everyone else, understand this. Her protectiveness is not just kindness. It's a sign her feelings run deeper than she's letting on. 7. She creates opportunities to be around you. One of the strongest signs a woman likes you but is trying not to show it is how she positions herself to be around you more often than coincidence can explain. She won't always make it obvious, but if you look closely, you'll see she keeps finding ways to put herself in your orbit. For instance, maybe you notice she always ends up near you in group settings. She might sit across from you at a table where she could have sat anywhere else, or stand close enough in a conversation circle that you can easily engage with her. On the surface, it looks casual, but underneath, it's her way of being near you without drawing too much attention. Another clue is how often she just happens to run into you. Maybe you start noticing she shows up at the same events, takes the same route, or lingers in places she knows you'll be. Women rarely admit this, but when they like someone, they sometimes engineer these little encounters while pretending it's all chance. Pay attention to timing too. If she messages you right when you're most likely free, or calls at moments when she knows you're probably not too busy, that's not random. She's intentionally creating openings for connection while playing it off as coincidence. Look at how she reacts when plans fall through. If you're in a group and something gets cancelled, she might say, "Well, we could still grab a coffee or hang out anyway." That's her seizing the opportunity to spend one-on-one time with you without having to openly declare her feelings. She may also suggest activities in a subtle way, like saying, "I've been wanting to try that new restaurant," while giving you a chance to invite her. She's not asking directly, but she's laying the groundwork for you to take the next step. Sometimes she'll even stay longer than she planned just because you're around. Maybe she had every reason to leave, but somehow she lingers, laughs at one more joke, or joins in one more conversation. A woman who has no interest won't invest that extra time. A woman who secretly likes you will stretch moments just to be close to you. Here's the truth. Women who don't care won't rearrange their lives to be in your presence. But when she does, even in small, subtle ways, it's her interest shining through. She may not say, "I came here for you," but her actions will reveal it. So, when you notice she keeps showing up, lingers when she doesn't have to, or finds excuses to be near you more often than coincidence allows, understand this. She's creating opportunities because she wants you around. She might be hiding her feelings with words, but her choices are telling you exactly what's going on. At the end of the day, men, the signs are always there. You just have to know where to look. A woman who secretly likes you may not come out and admit it, but her eyes, her body, her nervous energy, her protectiveness, and the way she creates chances to be around you will all give her away. The key is to stop doubting yourself and start paying attention to the patterns. When you recognize these signals, you'll move with confidence instead of confusion. And that confidence? That's what turns hidden interest into undeniable attraction.